Welcome back to our channel. Today, we will explore a shocking and controversial topic. Harry and Meghan Markle, are they turning charity organizations into money-making machines for themselves? Despite the misery of Birmingham, this is not only a shocking story, but also an open robbery that we cannot ignore. Could you please start with us and clarify the current situation in Birmingham, and how Harry and Meghan relate to this crisis? The current situation in Birmingham is truly a disaster. The city is on the brink of bankruptcy, with debts so high, and its budget so depleted, that it no longer has enough money to maintain basic public services. To cope with this situation, Birmingham has had to increase council tax by up to 21% over the next 2 years. This is a huge burden on the city's residents, who have struggled to make ends meet during the crisis. Public services such as street lighting, waste collection, and social care for the elderly have all been severely cut. The streets became dark, garbage piled up, and the social care system shrank significantly, increasing discontent in the community. If I lived in Birmingham, I would not hesitate to take part in street protests against the organization of the Invictus Games and the huge waste of resources spent on the event. The dire situation the city is facing, from dire finances to crumbling infrastructure, cannot continue to be forgotten in the shadow of scams and PR stunts. Not only that, we will witness scenes of chaos and pollution, plus face a serious public health crisis. When waste is not handled properly, rats will quickly multiply, creating dangerous disease outbreaks. The increase in the number of rats not only makes the living environment unsanitary, but also leads to the spread of infectious diseases such as typhoid fever, leptospirosis, and other types of infections. This situation not only threatens the health and spirit of Birmingham residents, but can also cause serious consequences for other cities, if not controlled promptly. That sounds very serious. But what does it mean for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to appear in this context? Can you tell us about their involvement and how they are affecting the city's finances? Of course, this is where the story becomes even more shocking. Harry and Meghan Markle are continuing with the Invictus Games, a charity they built and promoted. But it is worth noting that the huge amount of money they received from this event, up to $35 million, was not money from private charities, but money from the government and sponsors. While Birmingham is facing a financial crisis, a large part of the city's budget is used to prepare for the Invictus Games. This results in city money having to be allocated to beautifying the city and hosting events, rather than being invested in essential public services. Can you address the specific issues facing the people of Birmingham, and how Harry and Meghan are seen to relate to those issues? Criticism is focusing on many important points. First, the city of Birmingham is facing severe cuts to public services, including reduced street lighting, reduced frequency of waste collection, and cuts to social care budgets. This has led to dark streets, piles of trash, and a shortage of care for the elderly. Meanwhile, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle received $35 million for the Invictus Games. This money was mainly used to pay for organizational costs and event-related activities, while the people of Birmingham suffered from financial deprivation. How sad that the wishes and desires of the people of Birmingham will be completely ignored. Do Harry and Meghan have an interest in organizing this event, or is this just a way for them to maintain their popularity and status, without caring about the consequences for the people of Birmingham? To promote the Invictus Games, the people of Birmingham will hear sweet promises about a wave of relief coming from these games. City council officials will lavish praise that the games will bring in much-needed revenue and attract large numbers of visitors to the city. They promise to build wonderful facilities such as children's play parks, facilities for the disabled, and majestic sports facilities. But let's look at the truth. All these are just empty promises and demagoguery. When the Invictus Games begin, the city's residents will have to go through hell. Traffic jams, streets jammed, and daily life turned upside down. To attend a lavish sporting event, they will struggle to travel to work, hospitals, and essential medical facilities. Traffic is so bad that you won't know if you'll make your appointment or not. This chaos will turn every workday into a battle with time and patience. After the event ends, what will be left? The grand facilities they have promised, parks, sports facilities, will be straight out of a ghost town movie. These facilities will quickly fall into disrepair and abandonment, in the same way that Harry and Meghan's dreams often end. With a huge shock to city budgets and residents, public utilities, which were promised to improve people's lives, will turn into financial monsters that eat up budget money and weigh down on already miserable people. And what is all this for? In service of some illusionary prestige and fame. Think about it. Prestige and reputation. Things that are inedible, inviolably, but incredibly expensive. Harry and Meghan are turning the charity event into a flashy spectacle, aimed at flaunting their fame, while the people of Birmingham have to bear all the pain and inconvenience. Prestige and fame, the things Harry and Meghan dreamed of and longed for, have become an unimaginable financial burden. They are throwing their hands into the budget of a miserable city just to satisfy their frivolous demands. While Harry and Meghan indulge in their own game of power and fame, the people of Birmingham endure a life turned upside down, deteriorating public amenities, and unbearable rising costs. So as they continue to flaunt their greatness, remember that all they are really doing is turning a charity event into an expensive farce, making the townspeople angry. Bear all the consequences. Let them realize that the reputation and prestige of a few individuals cannot and should not be at the expense of the misery and loss of an entire community. Are veterans the first to be exploited to boost the reputation of individuals or organizations? And how might this affect trust, and what can they do to reclaim your rights? I think veterans should boycott the Invictus Games and eliminate those who use their reputation for personal gain, because they do not deserve respect from those who sacrifice their lives for the country. These veterans, who have fought and devoted their lives, absolutely deserve to be treated better than to be used as a means to enhance the reputation of individuals who have not contributed. The Invictus Games, instead of being an event to honor and support veterans, appears to have been turned into an opportunity for organizers, like Harry and Meghan, to brag and profit. This event has become a spectacle, where veterans are not only treated unfairly, but are also used as tools to increase the fame and power of individuals who exploit the event. Why should veterans accept fake honors from people who never experienced the sacrifices and hardships they went through? Instead of receiving sincere support, they are treated like decorations to highlight the event and the individual organizing it. It's time for veterans to realize that they deserve to be treated with real respect and support, not become tools for prestige exhibitions. A boycott of the Invictus Games would not only be an act of protest against exploitation and deception, but also a strong statement that veterans cannot be treated as pawns in the game of power and reputation. They deserve to be treated better, with the sincerity and fairness they have received throughout their dedicated careers. It is time for veterans to stand up and demand real respect, and to demand responsibility and respect from organizers for those who died for freedom and peace. Why don't the King, Prince William, and senior governments act now to end the fraud surrounding the Invictus Games? Don't they have any measures to prevent this terrible thing? I'm not sure about the royal family's decision yet, but we need the King and Prince William to act now to end the scam taking place in the UK, which is seriously affecting the poorest people in society. It is a shame to see this pain and hardship weighing on people who are already struggling. The huge sums of money received by the Invictus Games, instead of being used to support veterans, were diverted into the hands of profiteers, who only further enriched Harry and Meghan's lives. The public is increasingly losing faith in these games, leading to a decline in community support. It is shocking to know that Birmingham paid these two scammers such a huge amount of money. It would be much more fair if the $35 million was distributed to all veterans participating in the event, rather than for Harry and Meghan to enjoy. Spending money on Harry and Meghan is not only a waste, it is completely disgusting, causing respect for these games to decrease. Do you think this criticism could affect Harry and Meghan's reputation in the future? They lost their reputation a long time ago. They are selfish and ungrateful. When Harry and Meghan organized these charity events, they only thought about their own reputation, while at that time, the people of Birmingham had to face with a dire financial situation. But instead of receiving the necessary support, they found that a large part of the budget had to be used to fund the Invictus Games, which at least most of the money did not bring benefits to veterans as originally intended. This led to strong criticism from the community and organizations about whether Harry and Meghan were exploiting charities just to benefit themselves. If this situation is not resolved, their reputation and career could be severely damaged in the future. I hope everyone will be resolute and keep that money to protect the city. That is the first priority. People's lives come first. No need to entertain crazy, lazy scammers. Hey, they have no conscience. That man never worked a day in his life to earn his own money, doesn't know the value of a dollar. As for the veterans for their sacrifice, this man has no shame in stealing that money from veterans. It's time for someone to use their brains and stop the scammers. Hey, you don't have money to waste on these freeloaders. This is a situation that we need to monitor very closely. Please leave your comments below this video and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to update the hottest news. See you again in the following videos.